Welcome everyone. Now today we are going to see example based on the hydrodynamic journal bearing. So let us see how to calculate the example based on the hydrodynamic journal bearing. Now in the example we are having the data for the 360-degree hydrodynamic journal bearing, and the data that is given is the radial load, that is 3.2 kilonewton. So radial load we are indicating with the help of capital W, that is 3.2 kilonewton. Then we are having another parameter, that is journal diameter, and that is given 50 mm. So the journal radius we are denoting with the help of small r. So here the diameter is given, so that is small d, that is equal to 50 mm. Another parameter that is given, that is bearing length. So bearing length we are denoting with the help of small l, and that is again also given, that is 50 mm. After that, the parameter that is given, that is journal speed. So that is n, that is basically in the RPM, that is 1490 RPM. So that RPM we are going to convert in RPS as the design data are there. Now after that, the radial clearance we are indicating with the help of small c, that is 50 microns, right? So that is also given. After that we are having one more parameter, that is viscosity of lubricant. So the viscosity of lubricant we are generally denoting with the help of mu, right? So that is 25 centipoise, right? And the density of lubricant, that is rho, that is given, that is 860 kg per meter cube. So unit is important because whenever we are dealing with the design, the unit conversion will play a important role. And the specific heat of lubrication, that is also given, that is Cp, and the value of Cp, that is 1.76 kilojoule per kg into centigrade, right? So the Cp that is also given, right? So based on this given data, we are going to calculate the required parameter. So what we are going to find out here, so the first parameter that we are interested in finding out, that is minimum oil film thickness, right? So minimum oil film thickness we are denoting with the help of H0, right? So as we have seen the design procedure, H0 is your minimum oil film thickness that we have to find out here. Second parameter that we are interested in finding out is the coefficient of friction. So the coefficient of friction is denoted by small f. So that small f we are going to find out in this example. After that, one more parameter is there, that is the power loss in friction, right? So that equation we have also derived. So that power loss of friction, that is PF, or we can say kilowatt, that is in the friction. So that we are going to find out here. After that, the total flow rate of lubricant, and that is basically in the liter per minute. So flow rate that we are indicating with the help of Q, and that we are going to find out in liter per minute. So that unit is important because liter per minute is we have to convert based on the given data what we are having. And after that, we are interested in the side leakage. So side leakage you all are aware about, that is QS, right? And the last parameter, that is we are interested in the temperature rise. So temperature rise is basically the delta T, right? So in this particular example, we are having the given data started from the capital W up to Cp, and from this data we are interested in the finding out this particular 6 parameters starting from the minimum oil film thickness to the temperature rise. Now, as we have seen in the design procedure, we have to utilize the design data book to calculating this example. So let us see how to calculate this particular example. Now, as we have discussed, whenever we are dealing with the example of hydrodynamic bearing, the dimensionless parameter is very important, right? So for finding out the dimensionless parameter, we are interested in the finding out the Sommerfeld number, because the Sommerfeld number is the important parameter. Based on that, we can have the another parameter. Now, if I can roughly show you the design data book. So design data book is basically starting from L by D ratio, right? So after L by D ratio, we are having the another parameter like Sommerfeld number, epsilon, then we are having H0 by C, then we are having Q upon RC NSL, right? So these all parameters are there as far as your data book is concerned. So if we are having two parameter, right, because the L by D ratio will differ, that may be infinite, that may be 1, that may be 1.5, and from that L by D ratio we have to find out one dimensionless parameter. Suppose for L by D ratio, here if you can see that we are having L 50 mm and D also 50 mm, so L by D ratio will become 1, right? So for L by D ratio equal to 1, what are these other parameters, so that we can find out. So for that, the Sommerfeld number is the important thing. So let us see how to find out the Sommerfeld number. Now for Sommerfeld number, we are having equation, that is Sommerfeld number S, that is equal to R by C whole square mu ns by P. So that is the equation of the Sommerfeld number. Now if you can see the given data, we are having almost all the data to finding out the Sommerfeld number. Only the remaining data is P, because the P is not there. P is basically your bearing pressure. So bearing pressure we can calculate based on the radial load that is there, right? So the equation for the bearing pressure, that is P equal to W by LD, right? So let us see how to calculate this. Here if you can see the given data, so your W is your 3.2 kilonewton, right? So 3.2 into 10 raised to 3. So that 10 raised to 3 we can multiply here, divided by L into D. L into D is there, that is 50 divided by 50. So our bearing pressure, that is you can see here, that is 1.28 Newton per mm square, because D and L, that is basically in the mm. So that is the answer of your bearing pressure, that is P. You can see here, that is 1.28 Newton per mm square. Now if we are having bearing pressure, so we can have all this data, because the R is there, your D is 50 mm, so R is what? R, you can see that R equal to D by 2, so it will become 25, right? So 25 is your R. C basically here it is given in the 15 microns, so if you can convert in the mm, so 50 into 10 raised to 3 micron, sorry 10 raised to 3 mm, because the micron that is given, so here your answer will become 0.05 mm if you can multiply with the 10 raised to 3. Okay, so the viscosity mu that we can convert from centipoise to Newton second per mm square, so that is 25 into 10 raised to minus 9 Newton second per mm square. So that we can write over here, that is mu. Speed that we require in RPS, but here the speed in the RPM, so we have to simply divide 1490 divided by 60. So in RPS it will become 24.83, as you can see in the example. So it will become 24.83, that is in RPS, and P that we have already find out, that is 1.28. So all data we are having, we have to just simply simplify this mathematical equation. So let us see what is the final answer. Let me solve this. So 25 divided by 50 into 1000, because 1000 we can take above, so that is your 1000 and that square, right? So this is the simplification of this, into 24.83 into 25 divided by 1.28 into 10 raised to minus 9. So we can have 10 raised to minus 9, right? So let's see what is the final outcome. So Sommerfeld number, as you can see here, that is 0.121. So that is the answer of the Sommerfeld number. Now that parameter is very important, because based on L by D ratio and Sommerfeld number, we can have the another remaining parameter. So that is the answer of your Sommerfeld number. Now let us see that how to use the design data book. So as we have seen in the theory itself, suppose if you are having one parameter, that is L by D ratio, and L by D ratio, L is there 50 and D is also there 50, so L by D ratio will become 1, right? So for L by D ratio equal to 1, what is the Sommerfeld number? So let us check it, how you can find out. We can use the design data book, right? So that design data book will help you to find out the Sommerfeld number. Here you can see that L by D ratio is equal to 1, and for that the Sommerfeld number is 0.121, right? So that all these particular parameters we can get from the design data book. For L by D ratio 1 and Sommerfeld number 0.121, we are having H0 by C, you can see here 0.4, R by C into F, that is 3.22, Q upon RC NSL, that is 4.33. So all this data will get from the design data book. So let me write the data from the design data book as I have shown over here. So the data will L by D equal to 1, that I have already mentioned, right? So L by D equal to 1 I have mentioned over here. Let me write the another data so we can utilize in the example itself, right? Okay, so that is 1. Sommerfeld number we have find out 0.121, right? Then we are having H0 by C, that is there, that is 0.4. After that we are having one more parameter, that is Q upon RC NSL, that you can see here, that is 4.33, right? Then we are having one more parameter, that is side leakage. So side leakage dimensionless parameter is there, that is QS by Q, that is also we can find out from the data book, that is 0.68, right? And one more parameter, that is for the coefficient of friction, that is R by C into F, that is also there, right? So I should write here, so R by C into F, that is basically there, that is equal to 3.22, right? So all this data we can get from the design data book as I have shown here. So let us try to calculate the remaining parameter, that is that question basically asks in the example. So our first parameter, that is H0. Now how to find out the H0? So we can have this design data. So we can have the H0 by C ratio, that is equal to 0.4. So what I can do here, let me have my first parameter, right? So first parameter, that is H0 by C, that is equal to what? 0.4, right? So C, I think there it is there in the question itself. So C equal to what? 0.05 mm. So H0, that is equal to 0.4 into 0.05. So let us check the answer. So 0.4 into 0.05. So that is your H0 will become 0.02 mm. Unit is important. So H0 equal to 0.02 mm. So this is our first parameter that is asked in the example itself. So H0 is for 0.02 mm, right? So that is our first parameter. Now let us solve the another parameter. Second one, that is coefficient of friction. So for coefficient of friction, we are having the data from the data book, that is R by C into F, that is equal to R by C into F, that is equal to 3.22, right? So if I can simplify it, so F that is equal to 3.22 into C divided by R, right? So if you can see that we are having C and we are having R, right? So D is there, so R equal to D by 2. So let us see that. So what is the answer? So that is 3.22 into C is there, that is 0.05 mm, divided by R is there, so R is I think 25, right? So answer is 1.2. Let me check once again. So 3.22 into 0.05 mm divided by R, so R is basically 25. So the answer is 6.44 into 10 raised to minus 3, right? So it is same, I think, that we have seen here. So 6.44 into 10 raised to minus 3. So if I want to simplify more, so answer will become 0.00644, right? So 0.00644, that is the answer of our second parameter, that is coefficient of friction, right? So that both two parameters we have already seen. Now okay, now after that third parameter we are interested in, that is power loss in the friction. So power loss in friction, that basically defined by PF, that is equal to 2 pi ns into FWR divided by 10 raised to 6. So we can have the power that is in the kilowatt. So that we have already seen. So we can solve this equation directly. So that is 2 into pi into ns. Ns we have already converted from RPM to RPS. Here you can see that is 24.83. So I can use it directly into small f, right? So small f we have already solved here, 0.00644 into W is there, so that is 3.2 kilonewton, so 3.2 into 1000, and one more parameter, that is small r is 25, right? So divided by 10 raised to 6. So let's see what is the final answer. Okay, so the power is there, you can see here 0.0803 kilowatts. So the answer of power, that is 0.0803 kilowatt. So that is the fourth parameter that we have, sorry, it's a third parameter that we have seen here. Now after that the fourth parameter is what? Your Q, right? Q is nothing but you can call as the total flow rate of the lubricant. Now let us see the given data. So from the design data book we are having this ratio, that is Q upon RC NSL, that is equal to 4.33, right? If you can see here, so that data is there. So let us see how to calculate it, right? So let me use the space to calculate it again, right? So here we are having Q upon RC NSL, that is 4.33. So Q, that is equal to 4.33 into RC NSL. So what is R? R is nothing but your 25. C is already there, that is 0.05 mm, that is in the micron. NS you can see over here, that is 24.83, and L, that is there, that is 50 mm. So here all dimensions are in the mm. So flow rate we will get, that is basically in the form of millimeter, right? So let us see what is the answer, that is 4.33 into 25 into 0.05 into 24.83 into 50. So the answer you can see here, that is 66719.61, right? If you can see here, the answer is 6719.61. 6719.61. Okay, so flow rate generally we are taken in mm cube per second because all dimensions are in mm. So here the answer is mm cube per second. But if you can read the question, in the question itself, the data is asked that is in the liter per minute, right? So we have to convert this mm cube per second into liter per minute. So we all know mm cube to meter cube, right? So 1 meter that is equal to 1000 mm, right? So here the cube is there, so we can have the 6719.61 into 10 raised to minus 9. So it will become meter cube per second. Now here we are interested in the liter per minute. You can see here. This answer is in the meter cube per second. So again, from meter to liter we can have 1000, right? So 1000, if you can multiply it, it will convert in the liter, and it is there in the second. We interested in the meter, so we can multiply with the 60, right? So whatever we have done here, so this will help you to get the answer in the liter per minute. So let us see how to get the answer, right? So 6719.61 into 1000 into 60 into 10 raised to minus 9, right? So 10 raised to minus 9, answer will become 0.4031. That is basically in the liter per minute. So the answer of Q, that is 0.4031 liter per minute. So that is the fourth answer that we are interested here, right? So that is Q, that is basically in liter per minute, right? So let us find out the another parameter. Okay, so after finding out the total flow rate of lubricant, now we are moving towards the next parameter. So that is our fifth parameter, that is side leakage. You can see here. So side leakage we can denote with the help of QS, right? So QS, so we are having design data, that is QS by Q, that is equal to 0.68, right? Now Q we have already find out in the previous part, so I can take the value of Q directly. So QS, that is equal to 0.68 into 0.4031. So let us see what is the final answer. So 0.68 into 0.4031. So the answer of side leakage you can see here, that is 0.2741, but obvious that is in liter per minute. So that is our answer, that is 0.2741, that is liter per minute. So that is the answer of QS that you can see here, right? So that is our fifth parameter. Now after that, next one, that is delta T, right? So delta T, we can have one assumption that is already there in the question itself, that the total heat generated in the bearing is carried away by the total oil flow, right? So as per the theory itself, we can say that heat generated, that is equal to heat carried away, Hc equal to Hg, right? So that equation, we are having well-known equation for that. So I can put that equation directly, and based on that the final equation will become Pf, that is equal to rho QCP delta T, rho QCP delta T in bracket 1 minus 1 half QS by Q, 1 minus 1 half QS by Q divided by 10 raised to 9, right? So that equation we have already seen in the design procedure, so I can use this equation directly, right? So the data what we are having here, so we have find out PF, we are having rho here, if you can see here, we are having CP here, right? Q we have already find out, so so that is 0.4031, right? QS by Q we are having, that is 0.68. So based on that we can easily calculate delta T. So let me simplify it more so we can have the proper answer. So delta T, that is equal to PF. So PF into 10 raised to 9, right? So divided by, here I have taken this for here, rho into Q into Cp into 1 minus 1/2 US by Q. So that is the simplification form of that. So let us do it once again, right? So PF, that is there, PF we have already find out, right? So the answer I can see here, that is 0.0804, 0.0804, that is basically in the kilowatt, into 10 raised to 9, you can see here, divided by rho is there, that is 860 kg per meter cube. So 860 is there, divided by Q, that is in 0.4031 liter per minute. Now here we are having the answer in liter per minute, but as you have seen, rho is in kg per meter cube, so it is the but obvious thing that we have to take it in a meter cube per second. So the answer that is in the meter cube per second, that is nothing but 6720.52, right? So that we have already seen, that is 6720.52. so that is the answer of Q we are having, divided by Cp. Cp it is there in kg per kilojoule per kg into second, right? So it is there, that is 1.75, right? So this particular part will become 7.94. so that is the simplification of that part only. I am not taking 1/2 QS by QA here because that is very useful for the next segment also. Okay, so let us calculate now the remaining part, 1 minus 1/2 QS by Q. Now we are having QS by Q. QS by Q is what? 0.68, right? So 0.68 divided by 2, right? So 1 minus 0.34. So 1 minus 0.34, we are having 0.66, right? So 0.66 is the answer of this particular portion, right? So the final answer will become 7.94 divided by 0.66. So the delta T you can see here 12.03 degrees centigrade, right? So that is the answer of delta T. Delta T with calculating the effect of side leakage. So delta T will become 12.03 degrees centigrade, right? Minor variation can be okay, right? You can, if you can get 12 here, 11.90 here, it is also okay, right? So the answer of delta T considering the side leakage, right? So in few example the question can be asked, if we can neglect the effect of side, then what to do, right? So nothing, we just simply taking this particular part at 0, right? So without side leakage our answer will become what? 7.94 degrees centigrade, right? So that's how we can calculate delta T with side leakage and without side leakage, right? So that is the entire procedure for calculating the example based on the design of hydrodynamic general bearing. I hope you understand what we have delivered here. Thank you.